What if the one thing standing between you and everything you want is simply refusing to quit? Imagine how different your life could be if you forced yourself to be persistent, even when every part of you screams to give up. Persistence is not just a word or a trait some lucky people are born with. It's the quiet power that shifts ordinary lives into extraordinary ones. Right now you may feel stuck, frustrated, maybe even defeated. You might be wondering if all the effort, the struggle, the late nights, and the sacrifices are worth it. But what if I told you that the moment you decide to keep going no matter what, you unlock a force inside that can move mountains? That's the real promise of persistence. It's easy to feel like giving up when the road is long and the progress seems invisible. Maybe you've tried before and failed. Maybe you're tired of the setbacks or overwhelmed by how slow things are moving. These feelings are real and they matter, but they don't have to define you or your future. Persistence is what transforms failure into progress, fear into courage, and doubt into confidence. It is the bridge between where you are now and where you want to be. When you persist, you step into your power as the creator of your own destiny. You stop waiting for luck or permission and start taking control. Here's the truth that most people never realize. Success doesn't come to those who wait or wish. It comes to those who keep moving forward, no matter how small the steps or how many times they fall. Persistence is the secret weapon that turns dreams into reality. It doesn't mean you won't face challenges or pain. It means you won't let those challenges stop you. You'll learn to stand up each time you fall, to keep pushing when your energy fades, and to believe in your goal even when no one else does. This kind of determination creates momentum that nothing can stop. Now, you might be asking yourself, why should I keep going? What's the point if it feels so hard? The answer lies in what persistence truly offers: freedom. Freedom from regret. Freedom from what if. Freedom from a life limited by fear and doubt. When you force yourself to be persistent, you refuse to settle for less than you deserve. You give yourself the chance to live fully, to grow beyond your limits, and to discover strengths you didn't know you had. This is not just about achieving goals, it's about transforming who you are in the process. So stay with this message, let it sink in, because by the end of this, you'll understand how to unlock that relentless power inside you. You'll see that persistence is not something you're born with, it's something you can build and choose every day. And once you embrace it, nothing will be able to stop you from creating the life you want. The journey begins now with a single decision to keep going no matter what. Are you ready to force yourself to be persistent? Persistence is not some mysterious gift that only a chosen few possess. It begins as a simple, powerful choice, a decision you make deep within yourself every single day. That choice is yours and yours alone. When the world tells you to quit, when the obstacles feel overwhelming and the doubts creep in, it's that moment of decision that defines everything. You can choose to give in to the easy way out, or you can choose to stand firm, to push forward with steady resolve. This choice is where persistence lives, and it is the foundation of every success you dream of. It is not about luck, talent, or circumstance. It is about your willingness to keep showing up, even when the path is uncertain. You might feel powerless at times, like the odds are stacked against you, but the truth is that your power is always within reach. Every day you make countless choices, many of them small and unnoticed, that shape your future. Persistence is the accumulation of those choices, the repeated act of refusing to quit no matter what. This is a skill you can develop. Just like a muscle grows stronger through exercise, your persistence strengthens each time you choose to keep moving forward, even when it hurts. The more you practice, the easier it becomes. The habit of persistence rewires your mind to focus on possibilities instead of obstacles. Understanding that persistence is a choice shifts your entire perspective. It means you don't have to wait for motivation to strike or for inspiration to arrive. You don't have to be in the perfect mood or have the perfect circumstances. Instead, you have the power to force yourself to act, to take one more step, to try one more time. This creates a momentum that is unstoppable. The difference between those who succeed and those who fail is often just the willingness to take action when they don't feel like it, when their doubts scream loudest. That willingness is courage, quiet, steady courage that fuels persistence. This choice to persist also builds confidence. Each small victory, each moment you push through resistance, proves to yourself that you are capable. Your mind begins to trust your determination, your spirit grows resilient, and your fear of failure weakens. You learn that failure is not a sign to stop, but a sign to adjust and keep going. This transformation is profound because it turns fear into fuel and doubt into determination. It changes your inner narrative from I can't to I will, from maybe someday to today is the day. By embracing persistence as a deliberate choice, you reclaim control over your future. You become the master of your destiny, not a victim of circumstance. No matter where you are now, no matter how many times you have stumbled, this choice gives you the power to rise and keep climbing. You don't have to wait for perfect conditions or for obstacles to disappear. You simply decide, right now, to persist. That decision will ripple through every area of your life, creating new possibilities and unlocking doors you never thought could open. Persistence is a daily commitment to yourself, a promise to never let fear or doubt dictate your journey. It is the quiet, fierce resolve that makes all the difference. When you truly own this choice, you will find that your dreams are not so distant after all. They are within reach, waiting for you to claim them with persistent action. So, choose persistence today, not as a hope, but as a deliberate, unstoppable force in your life. Your future depends on it. At the core of every relentless pursuit lies desire, an intense burning force that fuels persistence when the road grows dark and obstacles seem insurmountable. Without a clear, passionate desire, persistence can feel like dragging a heavy weight uphill, exhausting and pointless. But when your desire is vivid and deeply personal, it becomes the fire that ignites your spirit and drives you to keep going no matter the cost. This desire is more than just a wish or a fleeting hope. It is the unwavering commitment to something that matters so profoundly that giving up is simply not an option. It's what turns persistence from a struggle into a purpose. Desire acts as your inner compass, constantly reminding you why you started and what you're fighting for. When the doubts creep in, when fear whispers that you should stop, desire shouts louder. It creates an emotional connection to your goal so strong that your mind begins to work differently. Obstacles become challenges to overcome, not reasons to quit. Every setback feels temporary because your desire anchors you in the bigger picture. This connection makes persistence feel natural, almost instinctive, rather than a battle. The strength of your desire will determine how far you're willing to push through pain, uncertainty, and exhaustion. Your mind craves clarity, and desire provides exactly that. A powerful desire focuses your energy and attention, directing your actions toward meaningful progress. It sharpens your priorities and silences distractions that would otherwise derail you. When you know what you want deeply, your brain aligns with that goal, seeking opportunities and solutions rather than dwelling on problems. This alignment rewires your thinking patterns, making persistence less about brute force and more about smart, consistent effort. Desire transforms your journey into a daily practice of moving closer to what sets your soul on fire. More importantly, desire generates emotional momentum. Each small success, each step forward, no matter how minor, feeds this momentum and makes persistence easier to sustain. The emotional reward you get from progress acts like a magnet, pulling you through moments of doubt and fatigue. This is why so many give up just before a breakthrough. They lose sight of their desire or forget to reconnect with it. To keep persistence alive, you must nurture your desire constantly. Reflect on it, visualize it, feel it with your whole being. Let it be the reason you rise every morning ready to fight for your dreams. When desire is strong and clear, it reshapes your identity. You no longer see yourself as someone who tries and fails, but as someone who never quits because what you want means too much. This shift in self-perception is critical. It creates a deep psychological foundation that supports persistence even when external rewards are delayed or uncertain. Desire rooted in meaning makes persistence an act of love for yourself and your future. It turns the pursuit into a sacred commitment, a promise you make that you will not settle for less than your fullest potential. If you're feeling stuck or tempted to give up, ask yourself, how strong is my desire? Does it light a fire within me that refuses to go out? Because when your desire is real, persistence becomes not a burden, but a natural response to that inner flame. It is the fuel that will carry you through every struggle and lead you toward a life that once felt impossible. Without desire, persistence is aimless. With it, persistence becomes unstoppable. Choose to connect with your deepest desire today and watch how it transforms your will into an unbreakable force. Even when desire burns bright, there is an invisible enemy that lurks in the shadows of your mind: doubt and fear. These silent saboteurs work tirelessly to break your persistence by planting questions that unsettle your confidence. They whisper, "What if you fail?" Or "Maybe this isn't for you." They create a fog that clouds your vision and weakens your will. But recognizing these enemies is the first step to defeating them. Doubt and fear are natural. They are part of the human experience. What separates those who persist from those who give up is not the absence of fear, but the courage to move forward despite it. Fear thrives on uncertainty and the unknown. It wants you to stop before you've truly begun, to settle for what is safe and familiar rather than risk the discomfort of growth. Doubt feeds on every mistake, every delay, every moment of weakness to convince you that giving up is your only option. But what if you could change the way you respond to these feelings? Instead of running from fear, what if you learned to acknowledge it, sit with it, and still take action? This shift in mindset turns fear from a barrier into a signal, a sign that you are stepping outside your comfort zone, which is where growth happens. Persistence is built on small acts of courage. It's not about being fearless, it's about feeling the fear and pushing forward anyway. Every time you choose to act in spite of doubt, you strengthen your inner resilience. You prove to yourself that fear does not control you. This creates a powerful feedback loop. Action breeds confidence, and confidence diminishes fear. Over time, what once seemed terrifying becomes just another challenge you are equipped to handle. Your mind rewires itself, replacing fear-driven paralysis with action-driven momentum. It's essential to understand that doubt and fear are not enemies to be eliminated, but obstacles to be managed. They test your commitment, but they cannot defeat you unless you let them. One of the most effective ways to manage these feelings is to break your goals into smaller, manageable steps. When the path feels overwhelming, focusing on one step at a time reduces anxiety and builds a steady rhythm of achievement. Each step forward, no matter how small, chips away at doubt and strengthens persistence. Another crucial tool is self-compassion. Fear and doubt can become vicious when you harshly criticize yourself for feeling them. Instead, treat yourself with kindness and patience. Recognize that every human faces these battles. This compassionate approach soothes the mind and makes persistence more sustainable. It creates an inner environment where courage can grow naturally, without the burden of perfectionism or self-judgment. When doubt and fear arise, remind yourself that these emotions are temporary and do not define your potential. Persistence is not about being fearless. It's about moving forward in spite of fear. It's about making a promise to yourself that no matter how hard the journey, you will keep taking steps toward your vision. The more you face your fears head-on, the less power they hold over you. You reclaim your will and your future. Persistence is the act of choosing courage over comfort, progress over hesitation, and hope over despair. Embrace this choice and watch how your inner strength grows until quitting no longer feels like an option. Failure is not the enemy of persistence. It is one of its greatest teachers. Too often, failure is seen as a final verdict, a sign that we should stop trying, that our efforts were in vain. But this perspective traps us in a cycle of fear and defeat. What if failure is actually the signal that you are moving forward, that you are stretching beyond your comfort zone and challenging what's possible? Persistence is about embracing failure as an essential part of the journey, not as a verdict on your worth or potential. Every failure holds valuable lessons that, when understood, become the stepping stones toward success. When you persist, you learn to see failure differently. Instead of fearing it, you begin to expect it as part of growth. Failure reveals what doesn't work, what needs adjustment, and where your strategy must evolve. This mindset creates resilience, allowing you to face setbacks with a problem-solving attitude rather than despair. It frees you from the paralyzing grip of perfectionism and unrealistic expectations. You become someone who experiments, adapts, and refuses to quit simply because the first attempt didn't succeed. This shift is crucial because persistence requires patience with the process, patience with yourself, and patience with time. Progress is rarely linear, it's messy, unpredictable, and often slower than you want. But every failure, every obstacle, carries hidden progress within it. When you lean into failure instead of resisting it, you open yourself to growth that is deeper and more lasting. Your failures no longer define you, they refine you. They are the evidence that you dared to try and that you are learning what it takes to win. The emotional strength built through embracing failure transforms your inner dialogue. You stop seeing yourself as a victim of circumstance and start seeing yourself as a fighter, someone who meets challenges head-on. This mindset fuels persistence because it shifts your motivation from external rewards or approval to an internal commitment to growth and mastery. You learn to celebrate effort and courage, not just results. This internal motivation is sustainable and powerful, enabling you to keep going when external validation fades. Knowing that failure is part of the path also allows you to take risks with confidence. When you accept that stumbling is inevitable, fear loses its grip. You become willing to push boundaries, try new approaches, and innovate. This openness is essential for transformation because it means you are not limited by past setbacks. Instead, you are continuously evolving, growing stronger, and getting closer to your vision with each attempt. Persistence rooted in the acceptance of failure turns struggle into progress. It empowers you to keep moving, even when the path is uncertain or the destination feels distant. Every failure becomes proof of your determination, a marker of your commitment to rise again. This understanding shifts your energy from frustration to hope, from defeat to determination. It reminds you that the only real failure is giving up. So, embrace your setbacks, learn from them, and use them as fuel to ignite the relentless persistence that will carry you through every challenge. This is the mindset that transforms dreams into reality. Persistence demands discipline, the kind of discipline that goes beyond motivation and feelings. Motivation is fleeting. It rises and falls like the tide, often leaving you stranded when you need it most. Discipline, however, is a deliberate commitment to act regardless of how you feel. It is the anchor that holds you steady through storms of doubt, fatigue, and distraction. When you cultivate discipline, you create a foundation that supports persistence day after day, long after initial enthusiasm fades. This is the unseen force that separates those who dream from those who achieve. Discipline is a daily practice of showing up for yourself and your goals. It means setting clear boundaries and priorities that protect your time and energy. It means resisting the temptation to quit when shortcuts or distractions appear more appealing. The power of discipline lies in consistency. Small actions repeated over time that accumulate into unstoppable momentum. Even when progress feels invisible, discipline keeps you on track, reinforcing the habit of persistence until it becomes part of who you are. This kind of self-control is not about punishment or deprivation. It is about respect for yourself and your vision. It is a promise that no matter how hard the journey, you will not abandon what matters most. Discipline transforms your mindset from reactive to proactive, giving you the ability to steer your life toward your goals with purpose. It rewires your brain to prioritize long-term fulfillment over short-term comfort, which is the essence of persistent effort. Understanding that discipline is essential for persistence changes how you approach obstacles. Instead of hoping for the perfect mood or ideal circumstances, you rely on your commitment to take action anyway. This mindset builds resilience because it doesn't depend on external conditions. It creates a powerful internal rhythm, a routine that keeps you moving forward regardless of setbacks, fatigue, or fear. This rhythm becomes your refuge and your weapon, empowering you to conquer challenges that would otherwise stop you in your tracks. Discipline also sharpens focus. When you commit to your goals with discipline, distractions lose their hold over you. Your attention becomes a laser beam, cutting through noise and confusion. This clarity enhances your efficiency and deepens your engagement with your work, making persistence not only possible but natural. You learn to protect your mental and emotional space, recognizing that what you feed grows. By nourishing discipline, You cultivate an environment where persistence can thrive. Finally, discipline fosters self-trust. Each time you honor your commitments, no matter how small, you build confidence in your ability to follow through. This trust becomes a reservoir of strength that you draw upon when times get tough. It reminds you that you are capable of more than you realize and that your consistent efforts will carry you across any finish line. Discipline is the silent engine powering persistence, the unbreakable bond between your dreams and your actions. When you embrace it fully, you unlock the capacity to persevere beyond what you once thought possible, transforming your life one disciplined choice at a time. Your environment is a silent force shaping your persistence every day. The people you surround yourself with, the spaces you inhabit, the habits you nurture, all either fuel your determination or drain it. Persistence does not happen in isolation. It is deeply influenced by what you allow into your life. When your surroundings support your goals, your resolve strengthens. When they hinder your growth, persistence falters. Recognizing the power of your environment is essential to sustaining the relentless drive needed for lasting success. Energy is contagious. The attitudes and beliefs of those around you seep into your own mindset. If you are surrounded by negativity, doubt, or complacency, these forces chip away at your motivation. On the other hand, when you immerse yourself in a culture of support, encouragement, and shared ambition, your will to persist intensifies. This doesn't mean you must isolate from those who struggle, rather. It means choosing to invest your time and energy where it nurtures your growth. Aligning with people who challenge you to rise, who hold you accountable, and who believe in your potential creates an invisible shield against discouragement. Your physical environment also plays a pivotal role. Clutter, distractions, or chaos can sap your mental energy, making it harder to focus and persist. A space designed to inspire and empower encourages discipline and action. When your surroundings reflect your commitment to your goals, your mind receives constant reminders of what matters. This can be as simple as keeping your workspace organized or creating rituals that signal it's time to work. These subtle cues train your brain to associate your environment with productivity and resilience. The habits you cultivate daily are equally influential. Persistence is not a one-time act, but a continuous pattern of behavior supported by routines that reinforce your dedication. Healthy habits around sleep, nutrition, exercise, and mindfulness build the physical and mental stamina needed to face challenges without giving up. Neglecting these areas weakens your foundation, making persistence more difficult. When you honor your body and mind with care, you create a wellspring of energy and focus that sustains your journey through adversity. Awareness of your environment's impact empowers you to take control. It invites you to audit what you allow into your life and make conscious decisions to foster positivity and growth. This may require difficult choices, setting boundaries, reducing time with toxic influences, or redesigning your daily routine. But these actions protect your persistence like a fortress. You begin to see that your environment is not just a backdrop, but an active partner in your success. By intentionally shaping your surroundings, you build a powerful ecosystem that supports your relentless pursuit. This ecosystem fuels your desire, sharpens your focus, and replenishes your strength when you feel depleted. It makes persistence less of a solitary struggle and more of a collective momentum. When every element around you aligns with your vision, persistence flows naturally and effortlessly. Your environment becomes a reflection of your inner commitment, a daily reminder that quitting is not an option. Embrace this power, curate your space and relationships wisely, and watch your persistence rise to heights you never imagined possible. Your mind is the battlefield where persistence is won or lost. It is not just a tool, but the command center that directs every choice, every action, every moment of resistance or surrender. If your mind is cluttered with limiting beliefs, self-doubt, and fear, persistence weakens. But when you learn to harness the power of your thoughts, to discipline and direct them with clarity and purpose, persistence becomes unstoppable. Understanding the power of your mindset is the key to transforming struggle into strength and setbacks into stepping stones. Thoughts are not just fleeting images, they shape your reality. They influence your emotions, your decisions, and ultimately your actions. When your mind is filled with negativity or uncertainty, it creates internal resistance that drains your energy and clouds your judgment. But when you consciously choose thoughts that reinforce your desire and commitment, you create an internal environment where persistence can flourish. This is not about ignoring challenges or pretending everything is perfect. It is about acknowledging obstacles while choosing to focus on solutions, possibilities, and growth. The process of mastering your mind begins with awareness. Notice the thoughts that run through your head, especially when you face difficulty. Are they supportive or destructive? Do they encourage action or invite hesitation? This awareness allows you to intercept unhelpful patterns before they take root. Replace doubt with affirmation, fear with curiosity, and defeat with determination. The more you practice this mental discipline, the stronger your persistence becomes because you are no longer a prisoner to negative thinking. Visualizing success is a powerful tool your mind responds to deeply. When you vividly imagine achieving your goal, your brain activates the same neural pathways as if you were actually experiencing it. This mental rehearsal creates emotional momentum that drives you to take consistent action. It fuels belief and reinforces desire, making persistence less about willpower and more about natural alignment with your vision. Each visualization session builds a stronger connection between your current effort and future success, making the journey feel meaningful and worthwhile. Control over your thoughts also empowers you to manage stress and emotional overwhelm. Persistence often requires facing pressure and discomfort, but a calm and focused mind navigates these challenges more effectively. Mindfulness and mental clarity are not just buzzwords. They are essential skills for anyone committed to relentless pursuit. When you learn to observe your thoughts without judgment, you reduce the power of negative emotions and create space for rational decision-making and resilience. Your mind is the greatest ally or your fiercest opponent in persistence. The quality of your thoughts determines the quality of your efforts. By cultivating a mindset rooted in positivity, clarity, and unwavering belief, you transform persistence from a difficult struggle into a purposeful journey. You gain the strength to stand firm against setbacks, the courage to move forward when fear tries to stop you, and the clarity to stay focused on what truly matters. Your mind shapes your destiny. Choose to train it, nurture it, and command it, so that persistence becomes not just a habit but your nature. Action is the heartbeat of persistence. Without movement, desire remains a distant dream, and potential stays locked behind hesitation. It is not enough to want change or to believe in your vision. You must act on it relentlessly. Action breaks the chains of fear and doubt by forcing progress, no matter how small. Each step taken, no matter how imperfect, is a declaration that you refuse to quit. This commitment to continuous action is what transforms intention into reality. The challenge is that action often demands courage before confidence appears. Waiting until you feel ready or have everything figured out only prolongs frustration and stifles momentum. True persistence means starting now, using the resources and knowledge you have today, even if the path ahead seems unclear. This imperfect beginning is not a sign of weakness, but a necessary part of growth. Every action taken in uncertainty is a powerful statement. You choose forward motion over stagnation. Consistency in action is what fuels the engine of persistence. One isolated effort is a spark, but repeated efforts build a fire that cannot be easily extinguished. This consistency doesn't require massive leaps every day. It requires steady, committed steps that add up over time. The power of compound effort means that even small actions, when done consistently, create extraordinary change. This reality shifts the focus from overwhelming goals to manageable habits, making persistence sustainable and less daunting. Action also reshapes your mindset. When you act, you gain evidence of your capability. You discover new strengths and resources you didn't know you had. Each success, each forward move, rewires your brain to believe in your ability to overcome obstacles. Action turns abstract dreams into concrete experiences, making your vision tangible and achievable. This cycle of doing and achieving strengthens your inner resolve and deepens your commitment to persist. Facing resistance is inevitable. Doubts, fears, fatigue, and distractions will challenge your ability to act, but action itself is the antidote. Movement, even when difficult, shifts your energy and perspective. It breaks the paralysis of overthinking and self-doubt. By choosing action, you reclaim control and empower yourself to rewrite your story. Action silences the inner critic that says, "You can't," by proving you already are. To make action a habit, it's essential to create rituals that support it. Rituals provide structure and reduce decision fatigue, freeing your mind to focus on persistent effort rather than whether to begin. Simple routines, whether it's dedicating a set time daily to work on your goal or using specific cues to trigger productive behaviors, build momentum automatically. These rituals become the backbone of your persistence, guiding you even when motivation wanes. Ultimately, persistence is the result of action taken in spite of obstacles, fear, and uncertainty. It is the daily decision to move forward no matter what. Each action you take builds your confidence, sharpens your focus, and propels you closer to your vision. It turns hope into achievement, dreams into reality. The path of persistence is paved by those who refuse to wait for perfect conditions and instead create progress through relentless, purposeful action. This is where transformation truly begins. Growth is born from persistence, but it demands an openness to change that many resist. Holding tightly to comfort zones or familiar patterns limits your potential and suffocates your progress. True persistence requires the courage to adapt, to learn, and to evolve continuously. It means embracing discomfort as a sign of growth rather than a signal to retreat. This willingness to change is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. When you persist, you encounter obstacles not only outside but also within yourself. Old habits, limiting beliefs, and outdated ways of thinking can trap you in cycles that feel impossible to break. Persistence calls for a readiness to question these internal barriers, to challenge your own assumptions, and to replace stagnation with transformation. This internal evolution fuels external progress. Without it, persistence becomes mere repetition, often leading to frustration rather than fulfillment. Change is not easy because it disrupts your sense of security. Your brain naturally resists unfamiliar territory, preferring the predictability of routine. But when you lean into change with intentionality, you activate new neural pathways that expand your capacity to solve problems and overcome adversity. Each step taken outside your comfort zone strengthens your resilience and expands your horizons. This is the paradox of persistence. Progress demands change, yet change is often uncomfortable and uncertain. The mindset of growth transforms challenges from threats into opportunities. When you persist with this mindset, every setback becomes a lesson, every failure a stepping stone. You stop fearing mistakes and start using them as valuable feedback to adjust your course. This perspective keeps your energy focused on solutions rather than blame, on possibilities rather than limitations. It turns persistence into a creative force that adapts and thrives no matter the circumstances. Accepting change also means releasing attachment to immediate results. Growth is rarely linear or quick. It often unfolds in unseen ways, requiring patience and trust in the process. When you persist, you plant seeds whose fruits may not appear right away. This long-term vision strengthens your resolve, helping you endure periods of doubt or slow progress. You learn to find meaning in the journey itself, appreciating the small wins and the gradual shifts that build toward transformation. Growth through persistence demands self-compassion as well. Change can be challenging and sometimes painful. Being kind to yourself during moments of struggle replenishes your inner strength and sustains your motivation. It prevents burnout and keeps your focus on progress rather than perfection. Self-compassion grounds your persistence in a deep respect for your humanity and your capacity to evolve. Ultimately, persistence without growth is hollow. It is the willingness to change that breathes life into your efforts and unlocks your true potential. When you commit to evolving with each challenge, you become unstoppable. Your persistence gains depth and meaning, transforming not just your circumstances, but who you are. Embrace change as an essential part of your journey, and watch your persistence fuel a powerful, ongoing transformation that reshapes your life from the inside out. Every step forward requires an unshakable belief in your purpose. Purpose is the anchor that holds you steady when storms rage and doubts arise. Without a clear reason why, persistence becomes fragile and easy to abandon. But when your actions are fueled by a deeper meaning, your will to persist transcends temporary pain and setbacks. Purpose transforms effort into devotion, making every sacrifice worthwhile and every obstacle surmountable. Belief in your purpose is not just a feeling, it is a decision you reaffirm daily. It requires digging beneath surface desires to discover what truly drives you, what vision ignites your soul and compels you to keep going even when the path seems dark. This clarity acts as a compass, guiding your focus and energy toward what matters most. It aligns your thoughts and actions, creating powerful momentum that propels you forward no matter what. Purpose also builds resilience by shifting your perspective from external validation to internal fulfillment. When your persistence depends solely on praise or success, it becomes vulnerable to the highs and lows of circumstance. But when you ground your effort in meaningful purpose, you develop an inner source of strength that no failure or criticism can extinguish. This inner fire is self-sustaining, radiating confidence and resolve from within. The emotional power of purpose fuels your persistence in ways that logic alone cannot. It connects you to something larger than yourself, a vision of who you want to become and the impact you wish to have on the world. This connection awakens passion and courage, turning obstacles into challenges to overcome rather than walls to stop at. Purpose gives you permission to endure discomfort, uncertainty, and sacrifice because you know your struggle serves a higher cause. To harness this power, you must revisit your purpose regularly. Life's pressures and distractions can cloud your vision, making persistence feel burdensome. Taking moments to reflect on why you started, what you hope to achieve, and who you are becoming reignites your commitment and restores clarity. This practice reinforces your emotional connection to your goals and strengthens your resolve to persist through adversity. Purpose-driven persistence also fuels creativity and innovation. When you are deeply invested in a meaningful goal, you become more resourceful and adaptable. You seek new ways to overcome obstacles and find solutions where others see dead ends. This relentless problem-solving mindset keeps your momentum alive and prevents stagnation. It transforms persistence from mere endurance into active, purposeful progress. Belief in your purpose is not always easy to maintain, especially when faced with prolonged challenges or failures. Doubts will creep in, and the weight of effort may feel overwhelming. But this is precisely when your commitment to purpose must be strongest. Purpose is the lifeline that pulls you out of despair and into action. It reminds you that every setback is temporary, and every step forward brings you closer to fulfillment. When your persistence is anchored in purpose, quitting is no longer an option. Your goals are no longer just ambitions, but sacred missions. This unwavering dedication creates a powerful force within, one that propels you beyond limits, beyond fear, and beyond hesitation. Purpose transforms persistence into a lifelong journey of growth, meaning, and extraordinary achievement. Hold tight to this belief and watch your inner strength rise to meet every challenge with courage and conviction. Discipline is the silent force that transforms desire into achievement. It is the daily commitment to show up, to push through discomfort, and to choose persistence over ease. Without discipline, motivation fades like a fleeting spark, vulnerable to every distraction and obstacle. Discipline creates the structure that holds your purpose and action together, turning dreams into reality through consistent effort, no matter how you feel in the moment. The power of discipline lies in its ability to override impulsive emotions and fleeting desires. Every day you face choices to take the path of least resistance or to stay committed to your vision. Discipline is the muscle that strengthens with use, allowing you to choose persistence even when you feel tired, discouraged, or distracted. It doesn't rely on mood or inspiration. It thrives on routine and intentionality. This steady consistency builds momentum that carries you through difficult times when motivation alone would fail. Discipline also sharpens your focus. In a world filled with endless distractions, the ability to concentrate on what truly matters becomes a competitive advantage. Discipline trains your mind to resist the lure of short-term gratification in favor of long-term goals. It creates boundaries that protect your time and energy, ensuring that each action aligns with your purpose. This focused effort deepens your engagement and accelerates progress, making persistence not just a struggle, but a deliberate and efficient pursuit. The relationship between discipline and persistence is inseparable. Persistence is the will to continue, but discipline is the method that sustains it. When persistence wavers under pressure, discipline steps in to keep you moving forward. It creates habits that make persistence automatic rather than a constant battle of willpower. This shift from reliance on motivation to reliance on disciplined habits is the difference between fleeting effort and lasting transformation. Building discipline requires commitment to small, consistent actions that reinforce your larger goals. It means setting clear intentions and following through, even when the results are not immediately visible. Each disciplined choice strengthens your ability to persist by reinforcing your belief in yourself and your mission. Over time, these repeated decisions create an unbreakable foundation that supports your persistence through any challenge. Discipline also cultivates patience. Progress often happens slowly, and without patience, it's easy to become frustrated and give up. Discipline teaches you to embrace the process, to trust that consistent effort will yield results in due time. It encourages a mindset that values persistence as a journey rather than a quick fix, fostering resilience and endurance that carry you through setbacks and delays. The power of discipline is deeply psychological. It rewires your brain to associate effort with reward, creating a feedback loop that makes persistence more natural and satisfying. Each disciplined day builds confidence, reducing anxiety and self-doubt. It anchors you in action, grounding your persistence in tangible steps rather than abstract hopes. Ultimately, discipline is the backbone of persistence. It transforms your goals from wishful thinking into achievable milestones by embedding commitment into your daily life. When you cultivate discipline, you create a powerful force that propels you forward regardless of obstacles, emotions, or circumstances. This is how persistence becomes unstoppable, when discipline becomes your unwavering ally. Your mind is the battlefield where persistence is won or lost. Every thought, every belief, every internal dialogue shapes your ability to keep going. Negative thoughts breed doubt and fear, slowly eroding your will. Positive, purposeful thinking fuels resilience and courage, igniting the spark that pushes you beyond limits. Mastering your mental landscape is essential for transforming persistence from a fragile hope into an unbreakable force. The way you talk to yourself matters more than you realize. Self-criticism and doubt are silent enemies, whispering that you aren't good enough, that the struggle is too hard, or that failure is inevitable. These thoughts create mental barriers that feel real and insurmountable, stopping you before you even try. But when you intentionally cultivate a mindset rooted in belief and possibility, you create an internal environment where persistence can thrive. Your inner voice becomes a source of encouragement, reminding you of your strength and worth. Persistence requires more than just blind optimism. It demands realistic hope combined with unwavering faith in your ability to adapt and overcome. This mindset doesn't ignore obstacles. It confronts them honestly while refusing to be defined or defeated by them. You acknowledge challenges, but you also remind yourself of past victories, small or large, that prove your capacity to rise again. This balance builds mental toughness and prevents despair from taking hold when the road gets rough. Your thoughts shape your emotions, and your emotions drive your actions. When you nourish your mind with empowering beliefs, you cultivate emotional resilience that supports relentless effort. You learn to respond to setbacks, not with frustration or surrender, but with calm determination and renewed focus. This emotional mastery keeps your energy directed toward progress, reducing the temptation to quit when difficulties appear overwhelming. Mental discipline is also about controlling attention. Your mind naturally drifts toward fears, doubts, or distractions that weaken persistence. But through deliberate practice, you can train yourself to redirect your focus toward your goals and the steps needed to achieve them. This ability to choose where you place your attention is a powerful tool for sustaining motivation and action over time. It helps you avoid the traps of negativity and procrastination that so often derail persistence. The strength of your mental resilience grows every time you resist negative thoughts and replace them with constructive ones. This is not about ignoring reality, but about reframing challenges as opportunities to learn and grow. When your mind views obstacles as temporary and solvable, persistence becomes a natural response rather than a forced effort. This shift in perception transforms setbacks into stepping stones, each one strengthening your resolve. Your mental state influences every decision you make, every action you take. By mastering your thoughts, you take control of your persistence. You become the author of your journey, writing each chapter with confidence and clarity. This mental mastery turns persistence into a powerful habit that endures through fatigue, fear, and failure. It becomes the foundation upon which all your growth and success are built. When your mind is your ally, persistence becomes unstoppable. It fuels a relentless drive that moves you forward no matter what obstacles arise. This is the true power of mental mastery, the ability to persist because you believe, because you see possibilities where others see defeat, and because you know that your mind is the ultimate source of your strength. Cultivate this power within, and you will find no force more compelling than your own determined spirit.